Israel's Qatar strike rattled capitals from Washington to Ankara. The target, of course, was senior Hamas leaders who were meeting in Doha for peace talks. Now, with that, Israel has now hit 6 countries in its war on Hamas just over the last several months: Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, Iran, and now Qatar. But after Doha, all eyes are on the one potential flashpoint nobody imagined: NATO member Turkey. Could Israel really risk bombing a NATO nation? And if it did, why this may be one war Benjamin Netanyahu does not want to start? Let's unpack this. Days before the Qatar strike, Israel's army chief Eyal Zamir vowed to target Hamas leaders abroad. Qatar, which was long home to the exiled Hamas chiefs, was first in line. Now, Doha isn't just another Gulf capital. It's a major non-NATO ally of the US, hosts America's biggest base in the Middle East, has spent billions on US defense gear, and even gifted Trump a luxury Boeing jet. But none of that deterred Netanyahu.
We went after the terrorist masterminds who committed the October 7th massacre. And we did so in Qatar, which gives safe haven. It harbors terrorists. It finances Hamas. It gives its terrorist chieftains sumptuous villas. It gives them everything. So we did exactly what America did when it went after the terrorists, the Al-Qaeda terrorists in Afghanistan, and after they went and killed Osama bin Laden in Pakistan. Now the various countries of the world condemn Israel. They should be ashamed of themselves. What did they do after America took out Osama bin Laden? Did they say, oh, what a terrible thing was done to Afghanistan or to Pakistan? No, they applauded. They should applaud Israel for standing and up to these same principles and carrying them out. And I say to Qatar and all nations who harbor terrorists, you either expel them or you bring them to justice. Because if you don't, we will.
In a fiery speech, he invoked the US killing of Osama bin Laden. Any country harboring Islamist terrorists could become a target, he said. He didn't say Turkey, but the subtext is kind of hard to miss. And Ankara instantly felt the heat. Erdogan's defense ministry accused Israel of dragging the region into disaster. Remember, Turkey isn't Qatar, it's NATO. Bombing Ankara would cross a line like no other. Turkey has hosted Hamas leaders for years, letting them raise money, plot, even live there. President Erdogan has long styled himself as Hamas's political protector. He's called Netanyahu a war criminal over the Gaza war. At one point, even compared him to Hitler. Once Israel and Turkey were regional partners, but the Gaza war torpedoed those ties. Add to that, both now compete for influence in Syria since Assad's fall. What about Erdogan? He's in Qatar right now, attending an Arab leaders summit convened after Israel's strike.
We should intensify our diplomatic efforts to increase sanctions on Israel, and international legal mechanisms should be used to hold Israeli officials accountable before justice.
With Hamas in Istanbul and Erdogan's fiery rhetoric, Turkey fits squarely into Israel's strike abroad doctrine. Striking Turkey isn't like hitting Gaza, Syria, or even Doha, though. On paper, Israel outguns tiny Qatar. Global firepower ranks Israel's 15th. Qatar is ranked 62nd. But Turkey is a different beast. If global firepower ranks Israel 15th, it ranks Turkey 9th. The Turkish military, in fact, is second only to the US among NATO armies, with homegrown defense industries and NATO's collective shield, Article 5. Bomb Ankara and you're technically bombing NATO. And Turkey's raw numbers are staggering too. Israel has 170,000 active duty soldiers, while Turkey has 355,000 active duty soldiers. Israel has 1,300 tanks, almost 36,000 armored vehicles. In contrast, Turkey has 2,238 tanks and more than 61,000 armored vehicles. Israel has 650 self-propelled artillery units, while Turkey has 1,038 of them. The Israeli Air Force operates 611 aircraft. Compare that to Turkey's 1,083 aircraft. Attack helicopters, Israel 48 versus Turkey 111. In terms of fighter jets, Israel has 240, while Turkey has 201. In terms of mobile rocket projectors, Israel has 183 of them. Turkey has 296. And in naval fleet strength too, Israel has 62 versus 182 for Turkey. Israel may have F-35s, nukes, and technological edge, but Turkey has scale, NATO's umbrella, and a brand new steel dome air defense system. That's deterrence Netanyahu simply can't ignore. And here's where this could all boil over: Syria. Turkey backs the Islamist rebels who ousted Assad. Israel seized a UN buffer zone and keeps bombing Syrian bases. Both are carving up influence in the region. Now, experts warn they are now on a collision course, one Israeli strike away from a real dangerous face-off. Erdogan, meanwhile, is playing both sides. He's ramping up missile production, fast-tracking Turkey's Khan stealth fighter, and showing off his steel dome. But he's also talking to Israel, hoping to keep things from exploding. He's even banking on Washington's support to rein in Netanyahu. But Qatar has proved US ties are no guarantee. For Netanyahu, Turkey might look like just another Hamas haven. But the risks, of course, are enormous. A strike on NATO soil would unite the West against him, provoke Turkish retaliation, and risk spiraling into a war Israel may not be able to control. After taking on Hezbollah, Houthis, even Iran in just 1 year, Turkey would be a bridge too far. Yes, Qatar showed there's no limit to how far Israel will go. Turkey is a NATO heavyweight with one of the world's largest armies. And if Netanyahu chooses this fight, he won't just risk war with Ankara, he could risk war with NATO itself. And that's one firestorm Israel may not walk away from.